Hey, do you know some of the world's most iconic companies, they simply started as a sole proprietorship or as a partnership company? Let's take example of Apple, which started as a humble partnership firm, or Hewlett Packard, a technology major, which also started as a partnership firm, or say Virgin, which is a business major, started as a sole proprietorship company. And this is what we are going to discuss in today's video. In 2019, when I started my company, I did a lot of research on the ownership structure of the companies. Okay, and I spent a lot of time and my effort to understand what kind of ownership structures are present and what are the pros and cons. So my idea is basically in this video, let's try to simplify our understanding from the business ownership point of view in the Indian context. Okay, so that if you're a person who wants to start your business, you should have clarity about what kind of format you want to have in your company. Now, there is a disclaimer, this is not a substitute to the legal advice that you might get from a lawyer or from a tax authority, right? So this is simply going to help you take a better decision. And once you have taken decision, please consult with the relevant authority so that your decision is in the right direction. Let me quickly share my mind map with you and let's get going. So there are few things that I want to talk about business ownership structure. And the very first thing is, first I want to talk about the importance of ownership structure. So what we have to understand, whatever structure you choose, there are these three things: control, decision making, legal compliance, and liability is the center of your decision making. So for example, if you are a person who is going to start your business alone, then sole proprietorship is a very good model to start with. However, if more than one person is going to, more than basically two people are coming and starting business and they want to have control in the decision making, then sole proprietorship model is basically out of equation for you. Similarly, different kind of business ownership structure will have different exposure of legal compliance. Depending on what kind of a structure you are choosing, your legal compliance can be very simple or complex. Like sole proprietorship is like from day one you are ready to go, and depending on your business model you might not even require GST registration. So I started my business as a sole proprietorship business. So if you want to know how I started my business, the entire journey and everything, you can probably check out the link which I have given in the comment section, and you can join me live in one of the sessions. Okay, third point is liability. Now you should be very clear about the kind of liability that you can expect in your business model. So sole proprietorship is very good when the capital input is not very high and you are either doing a bootstrapping kind of thing, which means you are putting in your own money, or you are taking personal loans basically of small amount. However, if the liability is very high, debt component is very high for your business, then sole proprietorship is not a very good model to go. And we'll see about that. Okay, let's very quickly dive into different formats which are available in the Indian context. So we will talk about different formats, and let me just close the notes first and we'll go through them one by one. So first is sole proprietorship. So I have the notes ready for you in case any of you want high definition PDF for basically the notes for this mind map. Just type in the comment section below and I'll share it with you. Okay, so let's talk about sole proprietorship. The simplest of the format in case of basically you want to start the business today itself, you can simply start it. You don't have to worry about GST as well in some of the business cases. Okay, so if you are working alone, it requires simple administration and relatively few startup cost. So if your business is very simple, right, trading business, it's okay. If you have all those kind of business, you want to start an agency business, those kind of things can be easily done on day one using the proprietorship model. It's a pretty tax efficient way to be self-employed, and well, we'll see what do we mean by this. The basic idea is you are going to keep all the business profits after paying tax on them. You don't have to worry about a complex tax structure and all those compliance requirements. It has a very simple registration process and little capital is needed. So in terms of setting up the company, even if you are going for GST, the cost of setting up the company in sole proprietorship is the least. compared to all the other models. And you can start business under your own name or choosing business name depending on what you prefer. I would not recommend starting a business under your own name. Like for example, I have a company called Marketovita, so that is a GST registered business name which I am pursuing. Okay, so it's always advised to have a proper business name when you are starting your company. The problem with sole proprietorship is this point: unlimited liability business debts are to be paid personally. So, unlike private limited or limited liability partnership model, sole proprietorship gives you huge exposure on the business debts part. That's why if you have a big component of business debts, it's always advised to move away from sole proprietorship model. It's not the right model when you have huge business debts in place. And it is very easy to move from sole proprietorship to company status. So, which means if you want to start very quickly, start with sole proprietorship. As soon as you have visibility about your business debts, move to the other relevant format depending on the kind of requirement you are having. But very good manner to start with. So you don't have to wait for all the complexities, complex things which are happening in the Indian context. If you want to start your business, you can start as of now, today itself. Okay, let's talk about second model structure basically, which is partnership. And like sole proprietorship, partners file only personal tax returns and are responsible themselves for the business debts, which means once again, it has the same limitation of sole proprietorship that you or the group of people who are the owners of the company, you are personally responsible for all the business debts. So if you are facing a scenario where your business debts are going to be increasing beyond a particular point, you can choose to set up a limited liability partnership firm, which is a very good option which was not available in sole proprietorship. Also, ideal scenario is more partners means more capital and expansion opportunity. This is not always the right case. However, this is the ideal scenario and the profit and control of the business is shared. Now, this is one of the reasons why a lot of partnership companies, they are not very successful. Why? Because if two people are having equal say in a partnership company and their mental alignment is not up to the mark, basically they don't have the mental alignment with each other's decision making process, then these businesses, they tend to have tendency of getting closed down or having a lot of operational complexities. Okay, so but the simplest thing is each partner will pay tax on own portion of profit, which is basically whenever you are creating a partnership deed, it will be very much required for you to write down what is going to be the profit sharing model. But the problem is if partner leaves, a new partnership is required. This is one of the flaws of partnership. Let's talk about private limited companies next, which are more complex. However, they safeguard the owners from the amount of business liability that they are going to face. So as I mentioned, private limited, they are more complex to set up and run. A private company is a legal entity which is pretty much separate from its business owners. So owners are different, company is different. In case of sole proprietorship, owner is the company. In partnership, owner is the owner. Together, they are the company. In private limited, it's not like that. Owner is different. Private limited company is different. So which means you will be required to have separate PAN card and GST and all those things. So which means your compliance requirements increased multifold. In case of private limited company, the company structure means the owners are not usually personal liable for business debts, which makes it very lucrative option when you are going for funding or you are going for a huge bank loan. Okay. Private companies are owned by shareholders who are often the company's promoters. It's not required that the owner of the company is also the promoter of the company. There can be sleeping partners as well. Okay. Now, next, we should also talk about public limited companies. These are the most complex structures. And usually, what I have seen is startups might go public limited, but it's going to be happening over the year. It's good to have information, but I don't think I have not seen any company any startup starting from day one as a public limited company. Why? Because they are very large business and they have many legal financial reporting obligations. So probably it's not a very good startup format. So go for the three formats which we have already discussed. The general public and other institution can buy shares in public company, which means there are no set of owners. Whosoever is shareholder, they are the owner of the company. The company structure is good for major capital injection. Basically, this particular line itself is telling you when you should go for a public limited company. When you are a large company and you want to expand beyond the resources which you are having, basically beyond the capital that you currently have, and you don't want to go for having more of the funding or venture capitalist stakes in your company, you go the public way. The public structure is good for major capital injection, allowing the business to expand. And the business expansion is the key reason why companies go public. Okay. I am not talking about those companies which are not for profit companies, which are basically like trading organizations or associations. There is a caveat that they might be doing business and they may be operating in a company format, but whatever profit they are generating, it has to be basically spent on the activities. You can say maybe charitable activities or whatever activities which were the reason behind which that company has been formed. So the profit is not going to the owner in case of a non-profit company. Okay. Let's very quickly also see what are multinationals and franchisees, because from the taxation point of view and legal compliance point of view, these are the four structures which are more suitable for startup companies, especially these three. However, it's good to know about multinationals and franchisee business options as well. Now, multinational means a company which is present in multiple countries. But the basic idea is that multinationals have operations in various countries for growth and flexibility. So they might be taking benefit of taxation laws from one country by being present over there. Multinationals can save money by setting up operations in countries where costs are cheaper. So like India is a cheaper destination for BP operations. That's why so many MNCs, they have their BP operations within India. Foreign branches can adapt to the local market and also find new markets. So this is one of the reasons, localization and then expansion of the market. This is one of the benefits that multinationals, they reap in. However, there is a term of global companies. Global companies, they work differently than MNCs, although they are MNCs as well. But typically MNCs, they follow the structure and basically the org structure or the corporate structure is pretty much different in different countries. Global company, on the other hand, global company like Apple, it's going to have facilities in different countries, but will operate as a single corporate culture with common processes. So here the process customization is not going to happen depending on the countries. In typical MNC, process customization is going to happen. That is one of the technical difference between multinational companies and a global companies. Next, let's also talk about franchisees, which is also one very lucrative business opportunities for people. Okay, so there are two entities in franchisee model. One is the franchisor, the business owner, and then there is a franchisee. And franchisee is going to get a license from franchisor to establish a branch or a business under their name, and they will have to pay a franchisee fee. Okay, the franchisor needs less capital in this case. So if you want to basically operate as a franchisor, your capital requirement to operate the business is drastically going to go down, because you will have different franchisees taking care of the capital injunction. Okay, and the franchisee takes a known successful business model and name, so minimizing risk. So if you want to go for an expansion, having your franchisees, it's a very lucrative business model. Like in my past organization, which was Samsung, I used to deal with the franchisee business model, a lot of franchisees. So if you want any help in setting up what kind of franchisees business models are there, or how you can basically expand your business through franchisees, connect with me separately. Okay, I can help you on that front as well. Now, let me talk about the next set of steps that you can take once you have this particular information with you. The next thing is, if you want my help, I am there to help you out. So you can either meet me live by going on to mayankbhargava.com. You can connect with me through the connect form, which is going over, contact form, which is given over there. Or I also carry out lots of live sessions. You can register for one of the live sessions and we can meet there. Or you can set up a guidance call by clicking on this link. I'm also going to give this link in the description box and the comment section. Make sure you go through the link and set up the appointment. And you can also join my VIP Telegram group, which I have just set up for people who want to connect with me. The link is mayank.link/VIPs. It will give you access to the VIP group where we can interact with each other. Okay. So that was all from my side. I hope you liked this particular video, and do share this video with the people who are looking for this kind of information, and make sure you subscribe by clicking on the bell icon so that you also get information about videos of these kind whenever I upload videos of these kind for you. Okay, so till next time, this is Mayank Bhargav signing off. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay profitable.